Have a good day, everyone. This is my report, Psychoanalytic Social Theory by Karen Horney. Karen Horney's psychoanalytic social theory is built on the assumption cultural and social conditions, especially experiences during childhood, play a large role in the determination of personality. So habang tayo ay nag-grow in our childhood days, malaking influence sa atin yung environment and cultural, social conditions, especially our experiences during childhood days. Kasi in our childhood days, people whose needs for affections and love do not meet satisfaction during the childhood stage of life develop basic hostility toward their parents, resulting in basic anxiety. So, kung hindi natin na meet yung affection and love sa ating parents, pwedeng maging result dito yung basic anxiety. So, psychoanalytic theories, Karen Horney developed one of the best-known theories of neurosis. She believed that neurosis result from basic anxiety caused by interpersonal relationships. Horney's theory proposes that strategies used to cope with anxiety can be overused, causing them to take on the appearance of needs. Early life. Karen Horney dealt with depression early in life. She described her father as a strict disciplinarian and was very close to her older brother, Bernd. When he distanced himself from her, Horney became depressed, a problem she would deal with throughout her life. Psychoanalytic theory related terms in defense mechanism, psychopathology, behaviorism, psychodynamics, psychoanalysis, rapid eye movement, sleep attachment theory, psychotherapy, narcissism, nightmare. So, I think ito yung mga report na natin. Psychotherapy. Horney believed that neurosis grow out of basic conflict that usually begins in childhood. As people attempt to solve this conflict, they are likely to adopt one of the three neurotic trends, namely moving toward, against, or away from others. Each of these tactics can produce temporary relief, but eventually they drive the person farther away from actualizing the real self and deeper into a neurotic spiral. The general goal of Hornian therapy is to help patients gradually grow in the direction of self-realization. More specifically, the aim is to have patients give up their idealized self-image, relinquish their neurotic search for glory, and change self-hatred to an acceptance of the real self. Unfortunately, patients are usually convinced that their neurotic solutions are correct, so they are reluctant to surrender their neurotic trends, even though patients have a strong investment in maintaining the status quo. They do not wish to remain idle. They find little pleasure in their sufferings and would like to be free of them. Unfortunately, they tend to resist change and cling to those behaviors that perpetuate their illness. The three neurotic trends can be cast in favorable terms such as love, mastery, or freedom. Because patients usually see their behaviors in these positive terms, their actions appear to them to be healthy, right, desirable. The therapist's task is to convince patients that their present solutions are perpetuating rather than alleviating the core neurosis, a task that takes much time and hard work. Patients may look for quick cures or solutions, but only the long, laborious process of self-understanding can effect positive change. Self-understanding must go beyond information. It must be accompanied by an emotional experience. Patients must understand their pride system, their idealized image, their neurotic search for glory, their self-hatred, their shoulds, their alienation from self, and their conflicts. Moreover, they must see how all these factors are interrelated and operate to preserve their basic neuroses. Although a therapist can help encourage patients toward self-understanding, ultimately successful therapy is built on self-analysis by Horney. Patients must understand the difference between their idealized self-image and their real self. Fortunately, people possess an inherent curative force that allows them to move inevitably in the direction of self-realization once self-understanding and self-analysis are achieved. Horney outlined her theory of neuroses, describing different types of neurotic behavior as a result of overusing coping strategies to deal with basic anxiety. These behaviors include such things as the neurotic needs for power, prestige, and affection. Horney identified three broad categories of needs in her theory. So Horney theories people adopt one of the three fundamental styles in relating to others in combating basic anxiety, including moving toward, moving against, or moving away from people. So these are needs that move you towards others. These neurotic needs cause individuals to seek information and acceptance from others. They are often described as needy or clingy as they seek out approval and love. Needs that move you away from others these neurotic needs create hostility and antisocial behavior. These individuals are often described as cool, indifferent, and aloof. Needs that move you against others these neurotic needs result in hostility and a need to control other people. These individuals are often described as difficult, domineering, and unkind. So this fundamental contradiction attitude he has acquired toward other person. On the one hand, the child needs the parents and wants to approach them, but on the other hand, hates them and wants to punish them. Ideally, a healthy person should be able to move toward people, move against them, or move away from them. The three neurotic trends can be cast in favorable terms such as love, mastery, or freedom. Because patients usually see their behavior in these positive terms, their actions appear to them to be healthy, right, and desirable. So the 10 neurotic needs will adjust individuals utilize all three of the strategies toward, away, and against others, shifting focus depending on internal and external factors. So the first neurotic needs for affection and approval. These needs includes the desires to be liked, to please other people, and meet the expectation of others. This neurotic need for affection, people with this type of need are extremely sensitive to rejection and criticism and fear the anger or hostility of others. So ito yung mga taong nare-reject or sensitive. The neurotic needs for a partner who will take over one's life. This involves the needs to be centered on a partner. People with these needs suffer extreme fear of being abandoned by their partner. So oftentimes, these individuals place an exaggerated importance of love and believe that having partner will resolve all of life's troubles. The number 3, the neurotic needs to restrict one's life within narrow borders. Individuals with these needs prefer to remain inconspicuous and unnoticed. They are undemanding and content with little. So they avoid wishing for material things, often making their own needs and valuing their own talent and abilities. Number 4, the neurotic need for power. Individuals with this need seek power for its own sake. They usually praise strength, despise weakness, and will exploit or dominate other people. These people fear personal limitation, helplessness, and uncontrollable situation. Number 5, the neurotic need to exploit others. These individuals view others in terms of what can be gained through association with them. Number 5, neurotic needs to exploit others. People with this need generally pride themselves on their ability to exploit other people and are often focused on manipulating others to obtain desired objectives, including such things as ideas, power, money, or sex. Number 6, the neurotic needs for prestige. Individuals with a need for prestige value themselves in terms of public recognition and acclaim, material positions, personality characteristic, professional accomplished, and loved ones are evaluated based on prestige value. So these individuals often fear public embarrassment and loss of social status. Number 7, the neurotic needs for personal admiration. Individuals with a neurotic need for personal admiration are narcissistic and have an exaggerated self-perception. They want to be admired based on this imagined self-view, not upon how they really are. So number 8, the neurotic needs for personal achievement. According to Horney, people push themselves to achieve greater and greater things as a result of basic insecurity. So these individuals fear failure and feel a constant need to accomplish more than other people to top even their own earlier success. The number 9, the neurotic need for self-sufficiency and independence. These individuals exhibit a loner mentality, distancing themselves from others in order to avoid being tied down or dependent upon other people. Then the last one is the neurotic need for perfection and unassailability. These individuals constantly strive for complete infallibility. A common feature of this neurotic need is searching for personal flaws in order to quickly change or cover up these perceived imperfections. So the expression of idealized self-image is through neurotic pride, neurotic claims, or neurotic search for glory. The expression of self-hatred is through alienation from self or self-contempt. The idealized self-image is Harney believed that human beings, if given an environment of discipline and warmth, will develop feelings or security and self-confidence and a tendency to move towards self-realization. So dito na natin nadidevelop yung self-confidence natin and feelings natin toward others. Neurotic pride of an idealized image is neurotic pride, a false pride based not on realistic view of the true self but on a spurious image of the idealized self. Neurotic pride is a qualitatively different from healthy pride or realistic self-esteem. Neurotic pride, on the other hand, is based on an idealized image or self and is usually loudly proclaimed in order to protect and support a glorified view of oneself. The neurotic claims, a second aspect of the idealized image, is neurotic claims. In order to search for glory, neurotic build a fantasy world, a world that is out of sync with the real world. Believing that something is wrong with the outside world, they proclaim that they are special and therefore entitled to be treated in accordance with their idealized view of themselves. Because these demands are very much in accord with their idealized self-image, they fail to see that their claims of special privilege are unreasonable. Neurotic claims is grow out of normal needs and wishes, but if they are quite different when normal wishes are not fulfilled, people become understandably frustrated. Neurotic trends, as her theory evolved, Horney began to see that the list of 10 neurotic needs could be grouped into three general categories, each relating to a person's basic attitude towards self and others. In 1945, she identified the three basic attitude or neurotic trends as 1. Moving toward people, 2. Moving against people, and 3. Moving away from people. Neurotic search for glory. As neurotics come to believe in the reality or their idealized self, they begin to incorporate it into all aspects of their lives, their goals, their self-concept, and their relations with others. Herney referred to this comprehensive drive toward actualizing the ideal self as the neurotic search for glory. Critique of Horney. Horney's social psychoanalytic theory provides interesting perspectives on the nature of humanity, but it suffers from lack of current research that might support her suppositions. The strength of Horney's theory is her lucid portrayal of the neurotic personality. No other personality theorist has written so well about neurosis. Related research. Horney's psychoanalytic social theory has not directly inspired a great deal of research in modern personality psychology. Her musings on neurotic trends, however, are quite relevant to much of the research being conducted today on neuroticism. Friedrich College and his colleagues have spent some years developing and validating an instrument designed to classify individuals on the neurotic trends. However, her nearly exclusive concern with neurotics is a serious limitation to her theory. Her references to the normal or healthy personality are general and not well explicated. She believed that people by their very nature will strive toward self-realization, but she suggested no clear picture of what self-realization would be. As a guide to action, Horney's theory fares somewhat better. Teachers, their therapists, and especially parents can use her assumption concerning and the development of neurotic trends to develop a warm, safe, and accepting environment for their student, patients, or children. Beyond this provision, however, the theory is not specific enough to give the practitioner a clear and detailed course of action. In this criterion, the theory received a low rating. Is Horney's theory internally consistent with clearly defined terms used uniformly? In Horney's book, Neurosis and Human Growth in 1950, her concepts and formulations are precise, consistent, and unambiguous. However, when all her works are examined, different pictures emerge through the years. She used terms such as neurotic needs and neurotic trends, sometimes separately, sometimes interchangeably. Also, the terms basic anxiety and basic conflict were not always clearly differentiated. These inconsistencies render her entire work somewhat inconsistent But again, her final theory is a model of lucidity and consistency. Major contributions to psychology. Karen Horney made significant contribution to humanism, self-psychology, psychoanalysis, and feminine psychology. Her refutation Freud's theory about women generated more interest in the psychology of women. Psychoanalytic theories explain human behavior in terms of the interaction of various components of personality. Develop one of the best-known theories of neurosis. Psychoanalysis is a method of treating emotional difficulties that involves communication between psychoanalysis and on all individuals' inner world and how it affects his or her emotions, behavior, and relationships. So, meron akong i-share na quotation ni Karen Horney. If you want to be proud of yourself, then do things in which you can take pride. That's all. Thanks.